Sai Ram. My humble pronouns to the Lotus Vita, our Sri Sadguru Madhusudan Saiji, and to Sri Sai Baba. We will start this program by lighting the lamp. I am requesting Professor B. Maharajan sir, Professor Anurag ma'am, Sai Swarup Iyer madam to lighting the lamp, and I am requesting IPS coordinator Dr. Santosh Singh sir to follow this. And we will start with the prayer. I am requesting Professor B. Maharajan sir to please come and sit on the dais. And also I am requesting Professor Anurag madam, please come and sit. And also I am requesting Professor Sai Swarup Iyer madam, please. On the eve of the event, BHARAT, a civilization unraveled, the university authorities request us to conduct this program. And our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Registrar, and the Department of Humanities and Social Science, with the coordination of the IPS section. So we are conducting this program with the help of the coordination, particularly with our student and who is research scholar Chithambaram, and the Sai Swarup Iyer madam. Thanks for that. And as it's a great progress for us to conduct this event in our university, and I want to introduce the guests, those who are going to present on the eve of this. And the first invitee, the chief guest is the speaker, Professor B. Mahadevan. And Professor Mahadevan is a professor of operations management at the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, IIM Bangalore, and who is having a lot of experience, more than 30 years experience in teaching and research. And also another key administrator in the IIM Bangalore, and who is having a key experience in other IITs, and also particularly in IIT Delhi, and also he played a key role in the Excel RI Jamshedpur, and who is a very important person for the founder of the University Chennaya Vishwavidyapith. So he is the founder, Vice Chancellor of that university. And he was an invited scholar at the Amos School of Business Administration at New Hampshire at USA. And his professor Mahadevan research interest includes researching the possibilities of using ancient Indian wisdom and to address the contemporary concerns, spirituality in the workplace, and management patterns from the Bhagavad Gita. And we welcome you, sir. So, Professor Mahadevan, sir. And the second speaker today, Professor Anurag, and she is a very key important role playing now as a registrar evaluation in the University of Maharani Cluster University, Bangalore. And she is one of the important person, and she is having a background of history, professional historian, and she is a key role. She played a key role in framing the syllabus for UG and PG history syllabuses, and she also introduced several new papers in the university, and she also played a very important key role in various universities as a chairman of BOS member, and also a member of various universities as a member of board of studies. And also she played a very important role in governing body in state and central and various organizations as an expert member, and in other areas also as an administrator and as an academician of subject history. Now I would like to introduce, we welcome you ma'am for this program. introduce Sai Swarup Iyer madam, and who is with a background of IIT Kanpur. She studied MBA and she came out from IIT Kanpur, and who is having a strong interest in studying history, and she is also an author of several books and author of 5 best-selling novels in India based on the ancient Indian women histories and women conditions, socio-economic political conditions. And she is also a recipient of Sri Sakti Award for her contribution of Indian literature. And she is mentor of upcoming writers and conducted workshops and other training programs for aspiring novelists. And she is a cluster with Indic books. So she is training the students how to write novels and how to write articles and all. And she is having interest with, and she worked with the Mahabharata and Indic history and philosophy. And being her focus areas, she also seeks to see more of those themes making and presence in popular creativity forms that celebrate Indian civilization. And we welcome you, ma'am, for this program. And on behalf of university, we especially thank you for organizing our honorable Vice Chancellor and Professor Anuradha Madam to become a part of this event. And now I would like to request Professor Sai Swarup Madam to continue the program.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Pranams to Sadhguruji. And I am grateful that I am a part of this prestigious event where two Diggajas in their respective raised this institution. So as a moderator, I won't stand between you and the guest speakers. So without much ado, can I request Professor Mahadevan sir to present his talk today, and we'll continue with the conversation after that. So yes. So we'll after Professor Mahadevan's speech, which is a very interesting talk. I have been a witness to a lot of his very inspiring and interesting presentations, and our way of looking at Indian history transforms when we hear him. So after that very scintillating talk, and I have been privileged to know about Anuradha ma'am's focused work on Indian metallurgy, and a lot of it, I won't spoil it for you. So after these very insightful talks, we'll have a conversation with both the luminaries, and I would also request you to note down any questions that you may have to ask them and send them by me so that we can make the best out of this interaction. Thank you. So may I request you, sir?
संपृक्तौ वागर्त प्रतिपत्तये जगदपितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्काराः। I am very thankful to Mohanji and of course for all the not only for the invitation, for the very nice hospitality. It was indeed a pleasure to walk into this campus, and I'm very happy for this opportunity. What I will do is, I will little bit talk about Indian knowledge system and leave the rest to a little bit of interactions if we really need some interactions. For an average Indian, quote unquote, well-educated Indian, so-called well-educated Indian. What I mean by so-called is a so-called education system. That's what I meant. Indian knowledge system generally means, I have been asking this question for nearly 20 years. I have asked consultants, I have asked doctors, I have asked management professors, I have asked people working in corporate. And if I have to summarize everything in a few sentences, for most of them, Indian knowledge system would mean something to do with Vedas, something to do with mantras, something to do with religion, something to do with rituals. And that is what we have been told to believe, and that is what our education system has been peddling that idea for years, for the last 200 years, not years before that. And therefore, what I want to do to you is I am not denying any of those, they are there. But to think that that alone is Indian knowledge system is like taking a bunch of sandalwood and using it for cooking breakfast. Just imagine this value proposition. You don't know any sandalwood. You cooked it, some smell came, you said, okay. Today's firewood for breakfast is sandalwood. It would amount to that. Therefore, I want to take you out of that thinking. I have recently authored a book at the invitation of the Minister of Education, the then Minister of Education, Pokhriyal. He personally called me and said, you should write a book, and then I took it upon me and I wrote a book. And that only gave me an opportunity to crystallize all of them into a very structured format. So, 450 pages book I cannot speak in 20 minutes. So, I will sprinkle a little trailer of what it will come in. So, I will share quickly what I found in my journey, although my journey of Indian knowledge system is 40 years. But the journey of writing it, sometimes when you write, there is a lot of clarity that happens. That's why I always keep writing something or other. It gives a lot of clarity to our thoughts. It crystallizes even more. So I will just share a few things with you. I do not know how many of you can actually recognize this. Okay? This is the only living fort in the world. All forts are abandoned. In 20 years, we will celebrate 1,000 years. King Raja Jaisal built this fort. It's called Jaisalmer. 1156 CE. So another 30 years, we will celebrate 1,000 years. UNESCO heritage site said that probably the only living fort in the world. Today. Okay. Now, do you call it as Indian knowledge system? I will call it as Indian knowledge system. This is where Indian knowledge system is. I will call it as Indian knowledge system. If somebody knows how to put up a structure which will stay for 1,000 years, do you think there is some knowledge there? In exactly 22 years, we will celebrate 400 years of it. I don't know the people whether they can recognize this. This is in a place called Madurai. This is Tirumalai Nayakar Mahal. Okay? This is, it doesn't look like a 400-year-old structure for you. The district court of Madurai was actually functioning from there. My grandfather used to be the government leader there. I am from Madurai. Okay? Now, how do you do it? You go to Mayamatam. There is a design of assembly hall. 36 pillar, 64 pillar, how to do it, all measurements. Samarangana Sutradhara. Samarangana Sutradhara. You can go to that text. That will tell you how to design an assembly hall. Okay? So, that is what it is. How do you design an assembly hall? To me, it is Indian knowledge system. Correct? This is the same building little from outside. What I showed is as you step into the arch. This is Tirumalai Nayakar Mahal. I am just seeing from 10 feet, 50 feet standing here. So we know how to create beautiful structures. Structures which stand the test of time. Structures which define as a meaning of aesthetics. Meaning of charm. Artistic charm. That is what is one dimension of Indian knowledge system I want to start with. And if you want to know how to do it, of course, King Bhojaraj in 11th century wrote Samarangana Sutradhara. The city of Bhopal is actually Bhojpal. It is not Bhopal. It is Bhojpal because he is an architect. He designed that city. We call it as Bhopal today. He wrote Samarangana Sutradhara in the 11th century, which is a North Indian text. Mayamatam is a Dravidian text. If you want something to know about the Gujarat and Western India, Aparajita Pracha. You just go and then understand the architectural things, details about a step well, or some of the Gujarat structures, Western India structures, and so on. That's what all these pieces of knowledge are. Can anybody recognize this? What is Kallanai? Yes, this is called Grand Anaikat. Kallanai in Tamil. There are only 5 dams in the world which is 2000 years old. 4 of them have perished, only one is living. That is this. It is a living dam today. The other 4 have perished. In terms of age, this fellow is the 4th oldest. Remaining 5 have perished. Okay? That's what it is. You go to Trichy, you will see it today. Tiruchirappalli. Okay? During the Sangam period, 300 BCE to 300 CE, Chola kings were absolutely fabulous in what I may call as watershed management. I throw today's terms, otherwise we don't understand. Watershed management. If you want to know how to do watershed management, you should read Uttarameru inscriptions. You should read. You should read and understand how they were managing the water bodies. What kind of a democratic system they have, how they have done. Okay? Right? Constructed by Chola King Karikalam, 1st century CE, which means it is 2000 years old. Now I was making this presentation somewhere, and one of my very senior colleague at IIT Madras, my good friend, he called me. He said, Mahajan, I want to tell you something. Britishers raised the height of the dam by 27 inches in 1804. They raised the height. Now every 2 years, 3 years, they are only painting it and then maintaining it. Now this man called me, my good friend called me. He said, I want to tell you something. I saw your video with my daughter. Immediately called in the morning. He said there was a PhD submitted just a short while ago in IIT Delhi, and that PhD thesis says the Britishers raising 27 inches was blatantly wrong. They should not have done it. That was a PhD thesis in IIT Delhi. I asked why. He said it was deliberately designed in such a way that once in some 6 or 7 years, the excess rainfall will go beyond the dam and destroy the crop downstream, which is a sustainable agriculture. Now you have prevented that possibility. The water must run through once in a certain hydraulic cycle. That has been prevented now by putting a dam which is a little taller than what it was originally conceived. This is there's a PhD thesis which I studied Kallanai. So the new knowledge is so inferior to the old knowledge, it looks like. I do not know. Okay? I don't know how many of you can recognize this. No. This temple, there is an expert sitting here on temple. Okay? This temple is the largest temple in Tirunelveli district of Tamil Nadu. I was born not too far away from here. Such a beautiful temple, and what is so special about this is each one is a cluster of musical pillars. They are all musical pillars. Pandya kings were so adept in constructing musical pillars. Okay? Madurai temple has musical pillars. As a child, I used to go and keep tapping. Now the tourist inflow is so high, they have actually covered it with a grill and you can only see. But I have tapped the musical pillar. Suchindram has musical pillar. South Tamil Nadu Pandya kings were very good in musical pillars. Musical pillars, South India in general. Okay? Now what is so interesting about it, Industry Nedimaran did this in 700 CE. So we have completed nearly 1400 years of this technology. Okay? Cluster of 48 pillars. 48 pillars were not made and with a fevicric you stuck it. It's a single stone. The single stone is carved. Finally, in such a way, you get 48 seemingly different kind of pillars. Right? That is what is going on here. And there are 161 pillars like that in this temple, which makes this great legacy for this temple. So I asked one person, can you tell me what does it mean to make a musical pillar? So this man just blew me away. He said, sir, first I will tell you, working on granite is impossible. It's the most brittle material, although it's the toughest material, it will break. So you need a high-speed alloy steel to work on South Indian, in fact, Pallavas started this. Granite temple in this country was started by Pallavas in the 8th century. Before that, we didn't have that culture. And working on granite temple is the toughest. Because the alloy that you use, the tool that you use must be stronger than that, must be harder than that. He said, sir, first you should know that. Secondly, he said, sir, you should do sound engineering. How do you get a Saptaswaras there? You need frequency, etc., whatever. So he went on and on. To me, this is Indian knowledge. There is sound engineering, there is physics, there is metallurgy, which madam is going to talk. I also dabble in this because I cannot help it. Okay? Right? That is what it is. You must read what UNESCO said. You should read that report. You should read what UNESCO said. They said this is impossible. You know why this is impossible? It is impossible because the temple is done from top to bottom. It is a simple boulder. Your boulder is converted to this shape. Right? And one 3D printed, one 3D print technologies, when he attended my lecture, sir, I want to tell you something. In today's 3D printing technology also, we can go only from bottom to top. We cannot come from top to bottom. That is not possible. The logo is different. Whereas these guys, I don't know whether they were tying a thread on the rope on their stomach and hanging from the top. I don't know what they did. What they had was inspiration. What they had was a grand vision of what they want to leave behind, not like today's politicians. Today's politicians want to eat away all this. Rip off all these great treasures and whatever is inside there. These people had a great vision. Great inspiration.
He wanted to see the Gopuram before she would eat anything before
Yeah.
the Gopuram.
Rashtrakuta king, yeah, Krishna won. So, most spectacular monuments in the world, right? So, Kailasa temple, Krishna won, Rashtrakuta king. Yeah. Vertical excavation is the biggest thing about this temple. Vertical excavation is so. That is the most important thing here. And UNESCO says that it is one of the most remarkable of all cave temples in India. Striking proportion, elaborate workmanship, everything happening from top to bottom. What is going on here? We can't even imagine. Are they using, what you call this, the AutoCAD and all that? Or are they using some, drafting software? Everything was here, covered with the topa. The hard disk was here. CPU was here, etc., etc. This is to me Indian knowledge, right? Everybody knows this. I brought it because this is famous. But let me tell you, this was actually not in Delhi. In 3rd century, it was in Udaygiri. From Udaygiri, in the 11th century, one of these they uprooted it and brought it to where it is today. Anyway, that is story. Now, some piece is lying not on a bank safe room, lying on the open sky for about 1800 years. It refuses to rest. It simply says, get lost, I won't get rest. That is the charm of this pillar. Open to sky, rain, sun, vagaries, standing testimony to Indian metallurgy. Indians were absolutely fabulous in what is called ferrous carbon alloy. What is steel? Steel is a ferrous carbon alloy. I am a mechanical engineer. The most important subject for us is metallurgy, in which there is something called TTT, temperature time transformation diagram. Without that, you will never pass as an engineer, mechanical engineer. As time passes at different temperatures, how this ferrous carbon alloy keeps changing. That is the central theory. Different types of cast iron, wrought iron, the entire magic transformation is through a TTT diagram, 3-dimensional diagram, temperature time transformation. These guys must have known all that. And I am not surprised because this country has the highest deposit of iron, right? Although I showed this, please understand, there are so many. There is Dhar, which weighs twice as big as that, weighs 7,000. Mount Abu has one. Go to Kollur. Go to Kollur Mookambika temple. You may say, sir, all these are in the middle of the country. Kollur Mookambika temple is 40 kilometers from Arabian Sea. That fellow is also not trusting. That argument is not there. You go to Puri.
Yes.
So many iron beams have been excavated. Konark temple, Undinapachari temple, everywhere. So this shows this country has a legacy of metalworking. What more do you need? There's a legacy of metalworking. I'm not showing you some movie. My entire book is based on three evidences which cannot be shot down as easy. What are those three? First is living structures. To me, this is a living structure. This is a living structure. Temple is a living. All that I am showing you are living structures. Not the Roman colossal or anything like that. Not Angkor Wat temple. Angkor Wat temple is all gone. There's nothing there. Like our Konark temple, they destroyed it mercilessly. Or parts of the Virupaksha temple and the Hampi area and all that. These are all living structures. Number one. Second evidence I have is literary evidence. I have gone through Yukti Kalpatru, I have gone through Samana, Sutradhara, Rasa Ratna Samuchaya, Rasa Arnava, Rasa Ratnakara, you name. I have read all these before writing the book. Brihas Samhita, Varaha Mila, Brihas Samhita, right? All that. Second is literary evidence. Third is archaeological evidence. You cannot insert anything 30 meters below the ground. When you take it out, that speaks for itself. Max Muller died in 1900. 1920, the world started understanding what is Aryan invasion theory. In this country, we are still teaching some useless Aryan invasion theory. The entire excavation in Lothal, Mohenjo-daro, entire belt, is speaking volumes which is destroying Aryan invasion theory. B.B. Lal, S.R. Rao. What kind of contribution they have done? S.R. Rao has dug the entire Dwaraka city under sea. So, the third evidence I use in my book is archaeological evidence. Nothing can be shot down. So, all these are from my book only. I am pulling all this material from my book. Okay? I asked one gentleman, sir, this is the last seal of the last Mauryan emperor, Samudragupta, or something like that. Last of them. So, 330, by 400 CE, Samudragupta empire is over. So I asked him, what does it take to make it? I again asked the metallurgist, please tell me what does it take to make it? You know what he said? He said, Mahadev, first you should know there is some metal called gold. First you should know there is some metal called gold. Step 2, you should know gold is somewhere underground. Third, you should know how to take the ore. Fourth, you should know how to separate the metal from the ore, because in a 1 kilogram of ore you will get some 20 grams. Remaining 980 grams is dust. So you should know how to do ore extraction. Fifth, you should know gold cannot be used in the purest form. You have to add something to it, make it 22 carat, 24 carat, whatever. Gold cannot be 22 carat, 18 carat, and so on. Fourth, he said you should know what is called foundry, molding. You should know what is called embossing. You should know what is called forming. I said, I put my hands together. I said, stop. You have told all my syllabus in metallurgy in one shot. That is what this seal is. In PS2 movie, they are showing seal all the time. What does it mean? Metallurgy was a way of life. I'm sorry, I just pulled a few ideas which you may possibly want to. This is an ornament in the 1st century BCE. 1st century BCE. I mean, it's so intricate to make this ornament of gold. So, in addition to all that, you need tools to work on these intricate pieces of metal. And that's a very common place here. Very common in this country. Somewhere in Andhra. That's what this is now in British Royal Museum or some Metropolitan Museum of Art in Washington or somewhere. This is called the wood steel. Wood steel is called wood steel because Kannada nalli ukku, Tamil nalli urukku. Urukku means steel. Foreigners they can't pronounce it. It's difficult, no? So woods. And this was used for manufacturing what is called Damascus blades. These are the Damascus blades. And where was it exported from? Not too far from here. You go 200 kilometers from here, there is a tri-junction of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The Salem, Erode, that area. From there, these ingots are prepared. And 2000 years back, we had two popular ports. One on the west coast called Kodungallur. East is called Pumbuhar. Pumbuhar port, we went to Java, Sumatra, etc., etc. Whereas from Kodungallur port, we went to even Rome, Midwest. So this was exported in tons and thousands of tons to make this wood steel. Again, it talks about the prowess of steel, knowledge of steel for us. The only news that we read about this is either these statues are smuggled, stolen and taken out, or it are recovered. These are the only news we read. Either it is smuggled out or it is brought back. This is the only story we read today. Now, these are all made in 7th century to 11th century. There are Chola type bronze. In Swami Malay, you go today, you will find people doing it. Which is it's a vanishing trade actually. Right? To make such sharp features, iconography was so good in this country. Pancharatra Agama and all that you can read, Vaikanasa, Shilpa Shastra, Kashyapa Shilpa Shastra and so on. Now to make it, we used what is called Madhuchishta Vidana. Madhu is honey, Uchishta is leftover. Uchishta means leftover. So Madhuchishta is the beehive. That wax is used to prepare mold, which was very sharp. Only in 17th century, French people came with what is called last wax process. Whereas this is written in Vishnu Dharmottara Purana. Stella Kremnish has written about it. This is available in Vishnu Dharmottara Purana. Now, one step further, Indians knew how to mix 5 metals together and make an idol also. Panchaloha. You have taken all of them for granted. I mean, it's a high-end metallurgy. If somebody knows, today we don't know how to put, chili powder and salt and make a rasam. It's all terrible at the end of the day. In Tamil Nadu, there is one lady, Bible, we have Bible, Meenakshi Amma. She has a book. The book is called Cook and See, not Cook and Eat. Samayita Par. Because by putting all ingredients, you don't get anything. Whereas these guys are able to put silver, gold, copper, bronze, tin, and zinc, put and then make a Panchaloha. Panchaloha idol, they can make. All these are, legacy of this country. So the question is, what is happening in all this? Is there IKS? Of course, there is a lot of IKS. In fact, I chose today only to do this much. Mathematics, I can talk for hours and hours and hours. There is something called Bhadra Ganita. There is something called Sarvato Bhadra Ganita. Pan-diagonal magic square and a magic square. Effortlessly we create algorithms for it. Narayana Pandita, in 1399, he belongs to the Kerala School of Math. In 1399, he took a 4x4 matrix and said you have to fill the number 1 to 16 in this, so that it adds up to a magic sum of 34. Which means you add any row, it is 34. Add any column, 34. Add two primary diagonals, 34. And there are any number of diagonals because we think it like a circular cylinder, not a sheet. Then after the 3, the 4th one will be this number. Imagine. So there are so many diagonals. It's called pan-diagonal. All of them add up to 34. So he came with the algorithm called Turaga Gati. He said how to solve that problem. And not only that, he said there will be exactly 384 different solutions possible. He wrote it in 1399. And what is our modern history? In 1920, one American professor and reporter of mathematics said only 8 solutions are possible. Not more than that. In 1928, another professor came and said, no, 384 solutions are possible. This is the legacy of math here. Do you know what is the pi is an irrational number, which means you can endlessly add digits. Do you know who has the highest approximation for pi in terms of digits? Ramanujan, 17 million digits. You need a 200-page notebook to write the value of pi, 3.141592. 17 billion digits. That's what it is. That is approximation of that many digits. Can you imagine? And I can go on and down on mathematics, I can go on and down on say Bhagavad Gita or whatever, I leave it. I can go on and down on Arthashastra. So I will skip many of these, I will leave it more for discussion. I just wanted to give you a little sense of all these. I will just want to say, you have to understand there is a difference between country and civilization. I want you to understand this. Country is just a piece of land. Now, India after 1947 is just a piece of land. Please understand. That's a political nonsense which Britishers threw it on us and went. That's okay. A country is always a piece of land. Whereas a civilization is something which stays with us forever. Forever. If after marriage you have to go and see Arundhati and Vasishta, that has meaning. One Raj Vedam has given some video, I really like what he is saying. He is saying this is a very special binary star, and so what is it? He has brought some astronomical concept deeply into it. For 8,000 years uninterrupted we are doing it. That's what it is. Okay? So a civilization is something which a society has developed, a culture, a way of life, and that drives them through. That is like the bottom of the ocean. Land is like the top of the ocean. It can keep changing. Today you call it India, 100 years back we call something, 200 years back we call something in East India, or Mughal, or this and that. Please understand, in fact I met 40 foreigners. We have a program in IIM Bangalore, 5 universities get together. So 40 foreigners came to IIM. They told me teach this. So I gave them first 5 minutes, I gave you 5 minutes time. You come from 40 different countries, 25 different countries. Take a piece of paper, take 5 minutes, write 3 bullets, what you will call it as your civilizational knowledge. I gave them 5 minutes. Then instead of asking all the 40 of them, I randomly went with the time, so I just went to a few tables. So one gentleman says 2008 we found something. Come on, 2008 is civilization? Not even yesterday, half a minute before. So I told them, and I was not putting them down or anything. What I was trying to tell them is, this is the only civilization known to mankind which works uninterrupted for 8,000 years of recorded history. Whereas we have what is called dark ages after the fall of the Roman Empire between 500 CE and 1500 CE. Nobody knew what happened, they call it as dark ages. Whereas India was like 1000 watts bulb at that time. What dark ages? Some of the best work in astronomy and mathematics was done at that. So I want at least one of you to understand that. That is the legacy that we have. For example, we just so a country is just a political formation, it may have changing complexions, etc. But a civilization is a substratum. Our foot is very firm. I want every one of us to understand that. We are standing on a firm footing. Temporarily there may be a bit of an issue. We may forget it, we may disregard it, we may not even know it. All those are temporary, but we are standing on a firm foot. A legacy of 8,000 years of recorded history and knowledge which has accumulated. That is the charm of this country and Indian knowledge system. So you should keep time and just say, sit down. Otherwise I keep on going. I have to watch. I produce watch for my lifetime. So we pick up for myself. Maybe I'll conclude with a couple of slides and then I think we should have a little discussion. So I will quickly define, having said all this, I will only define what is Indian knowledge system and then I'll leave it at that. Indian knowledge system has 3 components. There is something called Indian and knowledge and a system. What is Indian? Indian means indigenous source of knowledge generated by the Indian society. But I want to make 2 very important observations. I want all of you to know it. There is a political, there is a geographical meaning and there is a demographic meaning. Geographical meaning is when I say Indian knowledge, it is Akhanda Bharat, not this 1947 nonsense. It starts from Afghanistan on one side and goes up to Java and Mitra on the other side, Sumatra on the other side. Whereas north-south in Vishnupuran also it says. In north-south our boundaries are very tight because of Himalayas and Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean. Whereas east-west is, so when I say Indian, please understand, because Panini is from Afghanistan. Rest of our people are not here now. So let us not worry about all that. This country is a civilization, not a, right? So demographically also it has a meaning. Those who are born and or lived in this country, just like jamun, gulab jamun is immersed in sugar juice for a long time. Because there are a lot of Indians who have gone out, I don't call them Indians. I know non-Indian Stella Krabnish is a shining example. She came in 1920, spent 20 years here. Her book on Hindu temples is the most authoritative book I know. She came from Chicago. She lived. Because when I started writing the book, I first read the English literature. Max Muller, this and that. I said, there's something wrong here, I'm not able to correct. So I kept and then I dipped into the Sanskrit repository. I read everything original. Yukta Kalpitaru or this or that, everything I read. It took time for me, sat down and I read. Fortunately, I know a little Sanskrit, so I could read and understand.
So the oldest text was how old, sir? Which you
Well, Brihat Samhita is 4th century. Aryabhatiya is, you should see Aryabhatiya is just 3 sections. Beautiful. Lilavati, if you want to pass IIT JEE exam, learn JEE, learn Lilavati. Lilavati problems are IIT JEE problems. Beautiful text that we have here. So, anything by foreigners, I call it as about IKS and not IKS. I want you to understand this. Anybody who is not an Indian has written English literature is full of that. Don't read any of these intellectual work. You will be misled. Some of them doing it out of ignorance, some of them doing it for a certain reason and all that. They are all about IKS, they are not IKS. So this is the qualification I want to make about Indian. Then comes knowledge. Okay? Every society, why only in this country? Every society. Human people are thinkers. Why they're wired. Prakriti Swabhava is to think. So every society does, brings wisdom out of deep experience, observation, experimentation, testing it out, cleaning it out, validate, improve, augment. So Indians did it. That is the knowledge. As much as a Greek civilization did, Egyptian did, a Chinese did, etc., etc. I'm talking about the Indians now. So that is the knowledge. The only difference is Indian knowledge. I do not know how many of you are aware. UNESCO sites are generally structures, buildings, old buildings. There is one UNESCO heritage site which is sound, which is Vedas. UNESCO has declared Vedas as a heritage. Why? The knowledge in this country is literary and oral. That's the only difference. That is very unique about India. We transmitted everything through oral. Yeah, in fact, whenever I start these lectures, I start with the Nasadiya Sutta. Nasada, Si, No, Tada, Si, Tada, Deen. There is one 8 mantras. Today you go to Google, a lot of foreigners are reading those mantras. It talks about origin of universe, cosmogony, cosmology or cosmogony. It's part of Rig Veda, 129th Sutta in the 10th Mandala. So, and that I tell them, that foreigners also, I first recited, I'm reciting exactly how it was recited 8,000 years back. Because we have a science called Siksha to do that. So that you don't miss out anything. Anyway, all those are there. So, it's oral, it is spiritual, religious, secular, everything is part of it. There is this feeling that, Indian knowledge is all some Brahmins will do some mantras, some prohit, some yajna, and that's it. Is completely a wrongly understood idea of what Indian knowledge is. And then, of course, the system. System is a systematic method of classification. For the sake of my book, I classified it like this. I came with a classification. I said literary and non-literary are the two ends. In the literary, you have Sanatana Dharma and other dharmas. In Sanatana Dharma, you have the Chaturdasha Vidyasthana, Ashtadasha Vidyasthana, the core literature. Everything. You ask for metallurgy, you ask for medicine, you ask for psychology, you ask for aesthetics, ask for architecture, you ask for mathematics, astronomy, everything is available. But they all draw from owe allegiance to Sanatana Dharma. If you read Aryabhatiya, you will owe allegiance to Chatur Yugas before he talks about time, etc. So we have plenty of material available, which I call it as other but coming out of Sanatana Dharma. Then of course you have Jaina and Buddhist works. Buddhist works on mathematics, Jainist work, Madhavacharya, 8th century, Ganita Sara Sangraha, beautiful work. Jains and Buddhists have done on shipbuilding. Otherwise, how do you think Ashoka's daughter was going to Ceylon? Yeah, they didn't go by walk. You have to cross the ocean. Huh? So, on all those things that you will find, that we were good in shipbuilding. Yukti Kalpataru has some ideas, not too much, but some ideas are there. I read Yukti Kalpataru, some chapter. etc. But there is a regional. Regional is a complete retelling of this literature will be 100 times this literature. It is only retelling the Sanatana literature with a local context, local Sthala Puranas, etc., etc. It brings a lot of context in the vernacular. That literature is flowing from this literature maybe 100 times. That's why you need Valmiki Ramayana, you need Tulasidas' Ramcharitammanas also, you need Kamba Ramayana also.
He echoes so much of Arthashastra in the translation.
So I end here. I will only want to show a list. This list is not exhaustive. This list is not even 0.1% of the Indian knowledge system. In the one sheet of PPT, what I can accommodate, I have accommodated. This is from 3000 BCE to 500 CE. Okay, you have Vedanta Jyotisha, which is 1320 BC. Today we have fixed it. How did you fix it? In my mobile, I have a software called SkyMap Pro. It's an Android application. And what it will do? It will show the night sky between 4000 BC and 8000 AD, any place in the world. If you want to know the night sky of 20th February 7000 AD in Muddenahalli, it will show you at 8 o'clock. And our texts are full of astronomical references, they have dated everything. So this Vedanta Jyotisha is 1320 BC. Or you know, Chandra Shastra, Pingala's Chandra Shastra. With Yamata Rajabana Salagam, I can teach you what is called degrowing cycle in binary math. It's actually binary math. Lagu equal to 1, Guru equal to 0, the whole algorithm transforms into a binary mathematics. That is 200 BC. If you want the date for Pingala. Anyway, so this is 500 to 1800. You will find a lot of work on astronomy, mathematics, architecture. She is an expert in architecture. So many temples she has visited. So all that. So all that I want to tell you is don't ever settle for cooking breakfast with sandalwood. You are destroying yourself and your future also. And you are maybe the biggest fool known to mankind. So let's not do it. Okay. So all these are available in this book. This is our book on Introduction to Indian Knowledge System, Concepts and Applications. 14 chapters. It talks about what I just taken only from the book a little bit. Just conclude it here. Yes. Yes. Amazon is available. It is available in BHA also. BHA.com, learning.com. It's the first of its kind in India because you don't have it till after independence. Nobody wrote a book like this. It's a very researched book. And it is also available as a SWAYAM course. There are many teachers here. You can register and certify yourself also. I have put the book into 3 versions, one for engineering technology, one for humanities, one for sciences. Chapters are carefully chosen. So the SWAYAM courses are running. At the moment there are 8,000 people. In the last offering there are 15,000 people who took this course. If anybody is interested, students, teachers, please join. Beautiful videos will be there in which we have discussed all of these. And these I think is okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think the speech speaks for itself. We have a lot to assimilate, and I promise that their way of looking at history would be transformed after your talk. So, am I right or wrong? Yes. Yes. So please, sir. Now I invite Professor Anuradha ma'am to go a little, he has given us a macro picture. Maybe we will zoom a bit and go deeply into.
I did not know anything about Mahadevan sir. Only today morning I came to know about him. He has done the work which I am doing from my childhood. This is something which I wanted to do since many years. Exactly that, and my field of research is temple architecture, and whatever he has told that I studied and I did as my own my own puja, my performance. That was what a yagna that I did for so many years, for more than 35-40 years. this is what I did. But I did not know that there is Mahadevan sir who has done all this. I did not know. I don't know. It's God's grace. It is the blessings of Sadhguru that we could meet today. And if I show what I have brought, you will understand exactly what he spoke. I will show you in sculpture, because my field is history. Whatever he spoke, for him it is metallurgy, engineering. For me it is history, and history of this land, history of Bharat. And he talked about civilization. All that he spoke is our civilization. He speaks about Vedas, it is Vedic civilization. He speaks about Lothal, it is Indus Valley civilization. He speaks about Sangam, it is Tamil civilization, Chola, Chera, Pandya civilization. It is our civilization. It is the civilization of Bharat. And he spoke about, India. He spoke that it is Akhanda Bharat. It is very simple. It is Bharatavarsha. Wherever you go this side, if there is any place called Sthana, Turkestan, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, any Pakistan, all this Sthana is our India. Are you understanding? It is written in Veda. I am not talking anything. It is written in Veda. Nobody can change Veda. Okay? And I will be speaking what he said only, because that is what I have done 40 years. I did not know him, that's all. Okay? I would have gone to him 20 years back if I knew him. And second thing, that anything which has a sthana, understand, if it is Hindustan, is all this put together. And the numbers they use, the language they use, the science they use, mental science, mana, neuroscience, nara, dental science, danta, denta. Are you understanding me? All the science which they told, which he says, Indian knowledge system, is our science, the science of Bharatavarsha. Anything, any science of any type, whether it is metallurgy, whether it is mathematics, whether it is navigation, Nava Gati, from where they got the wood, they got it from Malabar coast or Konkan coast. To make the hardest ships, the best quality ships, the word navigation, Nava Gati. Are you understanding me? See the spellings? Are you understanding me? See the spellings? Okay? Iron, Agni, ignition, Ayaskanta, Krishna Ayas, Shama Ayas, Chitra Durga, Itale, Chitra Durga. Are you understanding me? Means all that sir is saying, talking metallurgy. I'll show you in sculpture, sir, Indian sculpture. Ancient, 232 BC, and about the luxury of India, whether it is material science, whether it is metallurgical development, whether it is development of city building, whether it is process of urbanization, whether it is take any aspect which you call as science. All that he showed you the work of Krishna the first. He showed you Kailasa temple. He showed you the temples of Tamil Nadu. You see any temple, any small temple. You see any small temple, any temple. It is based on the concept of structural engineering. The best in the whole world. The most ancient knowledge of structural engineering. It started here from our Indus Valley, continued unabated for such a long time. It was disconnected, completely destroyed. He was telling, I went to Cambodia many times, sir, in search of things which may be available, many are available there, and culture is so strongly protected, so that till today it is existing in its original form, many things. Therefore, it is very important for us to understand that we had a culture, we had a civilization which is so strong, whole world wanted to come to India. Whole world wanted to come to India. Why Romans wanted to spend their budget, 90% of their budget, buying the products from India? They had, embassy for Gujarat, they had embassy for Kanjivaram, they had embassy for, Manipura, they had an embassy for Karnataka. All those people coming, the Roman traders coming to India, coming to different parts of India to buy specialized products which are produced here. What does it show? Our silks were of great value. Our jewelry was of great value. Our things were of great value. The things that we produced here, that we made here, we call it in history as generation of wealth. Creation of wealth. We are known for creation of wealth. And people had specialized vritti, which was called as Kula Vritti. Kula Vritti. And their names, with the name of their family, shows that they were following this vritti, which is indigenous to India, which is the part of their living heritage. He said living temple. There are thousands. There are thousands of living temples. In the same way, even the vritti is Kula Vritti. It is their heritage. He said Madhu Chishta. He said last wax method. There are people who are expertised in it, and it is their vritti. They do it. And we get mirrors. We get mirrors in India where the mirrors are not made of glass, it is made of metal. Mirrors made of metal, which shows very clearly that India had extremely knowledgeable sectors. We were perfect in different domains where we had our mastery, we had our excellence. Therefore, all over the world there was a demand for India. One more thing I want to tell you, which many people they do not know. He never wanted to find out a sea route to America. Products of very great demand, whether it is Indian textiles, whether it is pottery which was created here, whether it is Indian jewelry, whether it is the luxury items which were going from India, whether it is the spices which were there in India. See, these are the things, the best flowers, the best fruits, the best. See, Romans wanted to get animals from India. They wanted to get animals from India. They wanted to get the tiger. They wanted to get the lion. They wanted to get the serpents. They wanted to get the animals from India because for their circus, the Roman circus, they wanted to use our animals. Are you understanding? Hope you are understanding that the Roman trade, the Greek trade with India was something which was happening in a very strong way. Aristotle told Alexander, once in your lifetime, go see India. Why? Because you will understand how powerful the people are. It was very difficult for anybody to cross the 24 satraps. I think you all know what is that. Punjab, 24 satraps. Most strong people, very strong people. There was a doctor by name Jivika. He knew, means the Ayurvedic doctors, they knew the technology, they knew the science to keep people young for a long time. Keep people young for a long time so that they can serve. To build an empire like Magadha, to build an empire like Maurya, to build an empire like Guptas, who ruled for so many years. You need to have a strong army. For that you need strong heroes in your army. People have to be young for a long time to fight. That Jivika was doing. If there is anybody sick, Jivika will go treat the king who is sick. Are you understanding? Means we knew that knowledge of keeping young for a long time, living for a long time, 100 and odd years. Those things are something very much inherent to India. Indians were well versed in doing all this. I will just show you this picture. Hope you are all able to see. He is getting this Damascus blade, which Sir told. This is in Ranchi Museum, where this painting is available. When I went to Ranchi, I took this Ranchi Museum. See, he's getting that, weapon. And what is it that they are giving to him here? Yeah, exactly. Show this. Show this. See, they are giving gold. They are giving gold. Gold they are giving to get our swords, to get our iron. The best I don't know because he's from metallurgy. I only know that it is high carbon steel, which I understood. I'm not a student of metallurgy, sir. To get that, they are paying him in gold. Can you see that gold box full of gold coins? Okay, means Alexander is willing to give gold and get our iron swords. Are you understanding the importance of it? And you see here, this is the place, a factory where they are doing it. Our workers are doing it. They get the order. They get the order from Greek. They get the orders from Rome. They get the orders from Arab countries. Hope you understand. They get the orders from different parts of the world for the best weapons which are needed, okay, for their warfare. And this is done here, and it goes to different parts of the world. It was exported. And it is not just, iron. Can you show this? So I will explain. This is in the Torah of Sanchi. This is in the Torah of Sanchi. If I knew him yesterday, I would have asked him yesterday itself. I did not know. See this is so very important for you because this is a sculpture. The sculptors of Vidisha, they are well known for this work, and it is they who have done the Toranas of Sanchi, the Toranas of Sanchi Stupa. It is on the Torana of the Sanchi Stupa. Anywhere Ashoka goes, he goes not just to build a stupa, he has built 84,000 stupas. Ashoka has built 84,000 stupas. To build a stupa means to create a center for Buddhism, where monks will go and stay, protect whatever is there in the place. The first thing is they protect the minerals of the place because nobody else will enter. Once the Buddhist monks are there, the Hinayana Buddhist monks and the Mahayana Buddhist monks, they were taking care, the Buddhist monks were taking care of our natural resources. And then the next thing that he does, he will identify the natural resources of the place. The thing that whenever Ashoka goes, before Ashoka going, the way is prepared, the road is prepared by elephants, by cutting the trees, preparing the road for the king to move from one place to other place, and then he will search for the best quality products which are there, means the metals which are available. Therefore, we know that he was doing the mining, the 18 departments which were there in Arthashastra. They gave importance for creation of wealth, protecting our metals, and iron ore, and the other things. All these things he used to do. He used to identify. He used to take people, and this is gold which was cleared. I think you can see all this, and they were measured how much of gold or how much tons of metal was brought out from the ore and how much is melted. There is a place called Giribraja. Giribraja was a place where they found the best quality metals, where they found iron. Yes, Giribraja. Later, when they found the best quality metals there in Giribraja, they understood that it is very much needed for the process of urbanization. It was a period of Buddha, and it was a period of second urbanization. The first urbanization took place during the time of Harappan civilization, Indus Valley. Second urbanization took place when Ashoka, Mahajanapadas, I'll show all that, Mahajanapadas, the 16 Mahajanapadas. And when empire was established, Magadha was established, then it becomes 12, which is mentioned as Mahati Bhara, the 12 important centers. Okay, all these Mahajanapadas, they all met Buddha. They all always met Buddha. There was serious discussions going on. Why? Not just to spread Buddhism. That is a very important thing. It automatically happens. Once you establish a stupa, Buddhism, spread of Buddhism, Dhamma takes place. But much more than that, they had their share of metals in Girivraja. As they had, everybody wanted to have their share in Girivraja. Most of the Rajas, they wanted to move from different parts of Ganga Yamuna valley to Girivraja. Girivraja later becomes Rajagriha. What is Rajagriha? Rajagriha, the residence of many kings. And again Buddha was going there. Why Buddha was going there? Because he had to decide the factors. How much of this land, how much of this metal, how has to be decided in front of Buddha only. It is metal value. Therefore, to decide final decision, this part belongs to this king. That final decision only Buddha could take. Only if Buddha gives the decision, all these 16 Janapadas were able to accept. Yes, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami means your word is final. Not just as we understand, it is much more than that. Are you understanding me, sir? Therefore, he used to go there, meet all the important rulers. Therefore, it became Rajagriha. Then the forest and the place became empty because they started, clearing the land and bringing out very valuable metals. They started melting it there, all the forest. Then Buddha said, no, Girivraja is getting destroyed. Then it was brought down where? To Ujjayini. There it was burned. There it was melted. Therefore, he is called as black iron. He is called as Ujjayiniya Mahakala. And it was a very important trade center where all these people were coming there to have their iron trade there, their metal trade there. Therefore, we have innumerous texts, information in history to show how much of metal was brought from Girivraja to Ujjayan and what was happening. And there were many karagaras where all these metals were valued based on the purity, quality. All that was done, they had machinery, they knew that knowledge, and then from there it was sent to different parts of the world, export. Hope you understand all this, 3rd century BC. 232 Ashoka. 230. Yes. All this technology is there. Ujjayini was a place in the whole of Asia. That is the largest burial ground. Why? Because they have used that place for burning the metals for centuries. Therefore, we need to, and I need to talk to sir to know many things which are here. Hope what I am showing is, okay, next. I am scared also because I don't know whether my understanding of showing this picture is what applicable to your science also. And then this is Ashoka. I need to, I'm sorry, I don't know. This is Ashoka with his wife Mahadevi and the second wife. And he was here down south. There was a civil war and father never wanted him to be there. He was trying to avoid him, to keep him away, so that he comes here down south, Sannati. He comes to Suvarnagiri. He comes to Kanakagiri. And here he was not keeping quiet. He is Ashoka. And naturally he will not keep quiet. When he was here, he was searching for the best places where he can get the best minerals. Okay? And he told that he has constructed 84,000 stupas. To construct 84,000 stupas, he needs revenue. And once you build a stupa, then it is like a temple. The activity takes place. There are people, there is an environment of Buddhism which develops there, and different Buddhist sanghas come there. People go there to get initiated. They go there as a Tirtha Yatra, Vijaya Yatra. There is that pilgrim activity and a city which will help the travelers who come. Therefore, all these 84,000 stupas where he built, they are all important centers, urban centers. And you want to build an urban center, you need a lot of revenue, you need minerals, you need, for that, his concept of making Buddhism a very important religion at that time, yes, 100%. But he had other important things also which are included in this. Therefore, when you see Ashoka had this vision that he wanted to make India a very strong, very wealthy nation. And he wanted to protect the minerals, he wanted to protect the natural resources, the sustainable, whatever, okay, he wanted to do. You see any of our ancient architecture, anything, any temple, any vihara, you see any basadi, you see anything, they are sustainable and they will remain so for thousands of years. For thousands of years, these temples, they never get destroyed because they are built in such a way, that even if there is a tsunami, nothing happens. Earthquake, nothing happens. It is built in such a way. Why? Because the texts which are written by our great rishis, the scientists, the rishis or the scientists, they have built it in such a way that it will remain Asurya Chandraka Padyantam. As long as Surya and Chandra is there, the temple will also be there. It is built in that mode. And the creator of the temple, the Stapati, the Vardhaki, is a person who can visualize. All signs, as he told very clearly, everything was here. Therefore, all signs of construction and measurement, all signs of putting the plan, fixing the directions, it was all there. Therefore, the temples remain unabated for a long time. When we see this, we understand when Ashoka is coming, people are very happy. Why they are very happy? They are very happy because Narendra Modi ji is coming here, our Prime Minister. And he comes here, he sees all this, he is very happy. He will give lot of donations. He will give lot of projects which make this place a very important place. Ashoka is coming, he will make that place a very important place. He will sanction many projects for this place. Therefore, when Ashoka was coming, he was coming to build a stupa there. He was coming to establish an urban center there. He was coming there to create places of markets where people can come, work and establish themselves. Places, all these things were happening at a time. Therefore, Ashoka becomes important. Therefore, they treat him like God. He is called as Ashoka. Ashoka is called as Devana Priyadarshini. Even Devas are very happy to see him. Devana Priya. Because Devana Priya. Why? Because when he comes, gods will come down. Very rich people will come down. They come to see him because that place becomes a very important place. We'll go to the next one. See, he is treated like God. He is treated with Amruta Kalasha. He is treated with Mela, Vadya, and all that. See, when he comes, I told you, when he comes, even Devas come to see him. See where above? Semi, Demi, all gods from above, they come to see him. And again, we have to understand why they are very happy. Because he will show them the place where metals are available, gold is available. He found out in Karnataka the places where gold was available. Wherever we have his shasanas, his inscriptions, we get gold there. You go to Maski, you go to Suvarnagiri, you go to Kanakagiri, Suvarna, Kanaka, okay, Bangarakanahalli, Bangarupete, Honnuduki, Lakshmi Kunja. Are you understanding me? Places where gold is available, mines of gold, okay, very valuable metals are available. Therefore, when he goes there, people are very happy. They treat him like God. Gods from the heaven also come to see him. The Naga, can you see that? The Nagas, the Tunguru, the demigods, the semi-gods, gods, they come to see. And why he has come? See the purpose? He wants to establish a stupa. And he wants to establish a stupa means he wants to identify the minerals available there. And then go to the next one. They are self-explanatory. Hope I am only telling the correct things, sir. Sir. Next. It's a very important thing. It's a very important thing. They are giving an offering to the Buddhist monks, and the offering is kept there. Can you see? Here is a pedestal. On the pedestal is a golden plate, and they are giving something very important as an offering. Bali. Bali means very valuable thing. Something very valuable, all of them, they are giving to the king and his wife and the children, whoever has come. And what is that very valuable thing? It has to be gold only. Because, are you understanding me? Because they need gold, they need iron, they need bronze, they need very valuable things to construct. And please understand, all the important 16 Mahajanapada heads are there. Can you see, identify the heads? It's like a biotech. They'll all sit together. They will plan out. They will, and Rashtra Nirmana, not anything bad. For the good of the nation. You know, a Sangha is established, and you can see all of them are there. And here is Ashoka. Ashoka's, the most important protocol will be there. And Chatra, Chamara, everything is there because the king has come. And there the offering is done. Next. Go to the next slide. About constructional methodology. See, 1 floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, more than that. Hope you can understand this. Means they knew to construct their houses, their palaces. Therefore, even in Indus Valley, we had 2 floors. Therefore, it is very clear. Constructional methodology was something very well known to us. We knew the texts for construction of city, texts for construction of forts, texts for construction of military camps, texts for everything. We had texts and we followed those texts. Why we followed those texts? Because they become permanent. They are not easily destroyable. The 5 kinds of forts, Jaladurga, Giridurga, we followed it because they are permanent. And here you can see the king is coming. People are very happy. And why the king is coming? He is coming there to construct a stupa. And all the people, with all their revenue, all their bali, kanike, they come there. Therefore, the value of the metals and the value of, the metals which were measured, valued, was all presented in front of the king. Next. Yeah, that is Ashoka. And whenever he is shown either with the stupa or with Harino Dhyana, means he has now come to Deer Park, where Buddha had his enlightenment. Oh my God, look here, I have completed this much. 84,000 stupas. I have completed 12,000. The rest I will complete. He will come back, he will tell. And this is put in the inscription also. He is put in his own inscription. He says, I have come now to Vijaya Yatra after completing my Dharma Yatra. And in the Dharma Yatra, this is the 2nd time, the 3rd time, like that. Next one. These are the places where we have Ashoka's inscriptions. If you want me to stop, I will stop, sir. I think I have taken more time. Shall I? I will. Okay, next talk. You can see how the gathering is there. They are all happy. Ashoka has come, and Ashoka has come to give announcement. Okay, stupa established agide. Announcing for another new stupa, another new place. Next. Yes. Yes, sir. Next one. Next one, sir. Rama stupa. That is next one. See all this again and again. 1 minute. This is very important. Sir told he sent Mahendra and Sanghamitte to Ceylon. Sir, this is Ashoka sending a branch of, the tree, the tree, and he is sending Sanghamitte and Mahendra and this whole group. They have their own, ships. In their ships, they go from Magadha to Sri Lanka. Next. This is in Sannati in Karnataka. We are very happy because he was here with us in Karnataka, in Sannati, and it is written down. Raya Ashoka has visited. Raya Ashoka Raya means the king Ashoka was here. Therefore, till Vijayanagara kingdom, till Vijayanagara rulers, we had that name Raya, Krishna Deva Raya, Achyuta Raya. The Raya, the concept of Raya is from here, from Sannati, and here his name is written as Raya Ashoka. Only here, only in Karnataka, his name is written as Raya Ashoka. In all other inscriptions where Ashoka's name is mentioned, they have mentioned him as Priyadarshini. Devana Priyadarshini. That's all. Only in Karnataka, I was there as a part of that excavation. I have the original pictures also. This is the place where we have Ashoka and his wives, and it is very important for us because he came down south and he started the process of urbanization. Buddhism was spread here. Hinayana and Mahayana schools were here. Many Buddhist centers were also here. Next. Next. In Java, in Sumatra, in Indonesia, in Burma, in Sri Lanka, in all these places, we have all these Buddhist stupas which are a vision and a mission of Ashoka, which we can see till today. And so I was studying, how is it possible to build a temple from above? Sir, 4 generations have worked and they had only one vision, one mission. The plan was there in their hands. I'm talking about the temple of Kailasa. Sometime I will be talking only about temple of Kailasa. They created what we call as little huts. Above the giri, above the hill, they made little huts. From the little huts, they created anchors, and from the anchors, they pulled down ropes, and from those anchors, they used to come down. They start working there. After finishing it, they established their little huts from the stage where they were standing. They come down for every generation. 4 generations of sculptors of the same family with one vision, one mission. They completed it. And when you enter, there is Gajalakshmi with a lotus pond welcoming that this mission is made successful in an excellent manner. Thanks to that is how our family system was there in India. There was a great grandfather telling the son to do this and complete this. And then the grandfather, then the father, the children, all of them having one vision. Therefore, the concept of one kula vritti, one village, one grama developing, that is what is written in the book, in the inscription of Parantaka, which you told, where all the people in the village, they participated in the village administration. They have taken care of the water tank, they have taken care of the irrigation works, they have taken care of the activity. They were also protecting the Honnu there. It is called as Honnu Variyam. Honnu Variyam means they were protecting the gold of the village temple. Therefore, all these things were happening as one unit. If we all can work as one unit, wonderful things can be done. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm extremely thankful to Mahadevan sir. I will go to him and then I will.
Thank you, ma'am and sir, for that wonderful, lively, lovely journey through the past. And the past that is not disconnected from the present, as Mahadevan sir says, we are a living civilization since the last 8,000 years. And so, sir, I also happen to listen to your very memorable speech at the IKS conference in Jayanagar, hosted by Chanakya University. Sir very beautifully put in the consciousness about IKS in 4 stages. The first stage being euphoric glorification, where you send WhatsApp messages, they get forwarded with or without being read. So Yes, and then comes conscious glorification, and then comes exactly the adhyayana, and then comes the furthering. Right? I hope I remember it right. So I think I would say that the students and the people of this blessed campus could be in the third stage. So what is the step from the adhyayana to actually being? And another very beautiful metaphor Sir quoted is somehow a lot of Indians in the recent past, he said there are coconut people, brown inside, brown outside, white inside. So somewhere the European white refers to European here. I mean not to the dress code. I'm so sorry. So the white refers to that European mindset. So though we follow Indian practices, and that is something the last two generations have done a very great job of following and keeping the practices alive. But how can we make the soul Indian?
Thank you, Shobha. I think see, we are in the stage, as she rightly said, we are in the stage where we have at least woken up and said maybe this country has something interesting. 30 years back, 20 years back, we wouldn't even say that. So I've been saying that traveling on the wrong road is totally wrong. First you have to be on the right road. Whether you travel, you stop, you pass, you even travel slightly in the reverse direction. All that is fine as long as you are on the right road. So first we have more or less come to that situation now. We are not on the wrong road, we are on the right road. But the most important thing now, according to me, is Indian knowledge system is very vast. So we should not be, for me to just give a pep talk for half an hour is fine. That's not what it is. I think each one of us must identify. I may be a professor of chemistry, I may be a student of chemistry. You can start with PC Raj Hindu chemistry as a starter. I may be a metallurgist, I can start reading, some books and alchemy texts and etc. etc. As a professor of management, I have read thoroughly Bhagavad Gita upside down for the last 30 years by the grace of the Lord. In addition to my Bhagavad Gita spiritual, all that is happening, I can read Bhagavad Gita only in management terms. Because I am a professor of management. I think this is the first thing we have to do. We don't have to dabble into everything. We don't have to do all that. So I think here is a stage where we must take. Madam has said she has analyzed sculptures very closely. I think it's very important. So each one of us have our own interests. That is the DNA of this country. Vayam sarve prakriti sambhavaha, prakriti guna sambhavaha. Each one of us is, this communist idea, all are equal is nonsense. All are unique. Nobody is equal, but all are unique. I am different from you, you are different from me, you are different from somebody. So let us try to align ourselves to that part of Indian knowledge system. I think the next 10 years, if we all choose to do that, I think we will reach the second stage of IKS, where each one of us will internalize something and bring it out. Now, how is a coconut? Coconut outside looks brown. Actually, inside it is white. Our mentality is like that. Our skin is brown, but we think like white men because the colonial thing has that's what I didn't want to say it that way. Anyway, that's on a humorous note. What I'm saying is, I think we must get on to something which is close to our heart. Stop this WhatsApp forward first, right? People who are major clearing houses, morning 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. All these messages coming from here, sending here. All the messages coming from here, sending here. I ask people, you say Sanskrit is great. What do you know Sanskrit? I don't know Sanskrit. Then why are you sending this forward? You sit down and read Sanskrit here. Don't waste your time. That 2 hours you can at least start, you can start the Maheshwarani Sutrani. Something you can start. So I think that is what we must do.
Thank you so much. So my next question for ma'am, by the time she answers, maybe we can take just a couple of questions from the audience. So, ma'am, driving down from Bangalore, I think, these people are fortunate that they are staying in UNRAVELLED and it is not yet urbanized to the extent that Bangalore has been. But I have a speculative question, and anybody who has stayed in Bangalore will agree to the kind of mess that the city has got into in the name of development. And then we go to history and hear about Pataliputra, hear about Vijayanagara. So sustainability, somewhere we have missed out on sustainability in the name of development. So speculatively, if Ashoka were to visit, if we were to consult Ashoka, what is the solution that he would suggest for Bangalore or any Indian urban?
Ashoka was, you should basically understand one thing, that Ashoka was Chanda Ashoka, black. What do we Kala Ashoka? He was not an ordinary man. He killed all his brothers, he killed his father, and then he became a ruler. Okay? Civil war. There was a civil war. And he was sent back from Magadha because they were scared of him. He was Kala Ashoka. It is not what I am telling you, or what Deepa Vamsha and Mahavamsha tells. It is what he himself has put in his inscriptions. He has I was Kala Ashoka sometime, and in my kitchen so many animals were killed. Morning I used to have so many, 4 legs, 2 legs and all, and afternoon, night like that. Now it is not so. Now I have become, now I am no more a Kala Ashoka or Chanda Ashoka. Now I am a Dhamma Ashoka. Okay? And if Ashoka comes to Bangalore, he will first put the basic principles that people have to follow. Okay? Tooth for the tooth, eye for the eye. Danda has to be strong. If Danda is strong, what is Danda? Danda is governance. Danda is governance. And what is it that he wants to tell in Arthashastra? That was the text, the guide that he wrote for the king. And he told very clearly, oh my dear person, you are going to become a king. And you have a dharma. And what is that? Raja dharma. You have to follow. And he tells what is Raja dharma. And he tells very clearly what is the Raja dharma. What is that? Raja sukhe sukham ragna. Rajanam tu hite hitam. Na atma priyam. Therefore, Ashoka comes there. He tells these are the basic principles of urbanization. Okay? This is my garden area. Okay? This is the place for only for 4-wheelers. That is for 2-wheelers. This is the speed for this. Listen, Ashoka is Ashoka. Whether he comes today or he comes tomorrow. And he will. And Ashoka has not just ruled here in India. He has not just, he is the Chakravarti. And he ruled the Chakravarti Kshetra. And what is Chakravarti Kshetra? Asetu Himachala. Asetu Himachala. And east to west 1000 yojanas. That's why I told. Ee kade sthana namde. Aa kade irodilla namde. Columbus never wanted to. It is written. He wanted to find a new sea route to India. See, it's very important for us to understand. Wilson's great-grandfather, grandfather, they all used to take him to one of the peak of the hill which was there in his village. Show there. Today I have brought Nalanda University also. Sometime I have to tell you about Nalanda. He used to show there. He used to tell, see, this is China. If you cross China, you have that holy land, the golden land, India. And there in India, there is a place called Patali Grama. And in that Patali Grama, there is Nalanda University. Oh my dear child, you want to go to Oxford, you want to go to Stanford, you want to go to there, then you start your work from here, from the age of 5. Only then you can reach there. That's what every mother in India tells today to the children. And that is what Yensang's father, great-grandfather, all the elders in the village, you seem to be an intelligent fellow. Look here, you go there. Why? Not just to study Mahayana Buddhism. It was a place where knowledge was given. What knowledge? Indian knowledge. What is Indian knowledge? 64 Vidyas. 64 Vidyas. Shodasha Vidya. Therefore, it is very important for us to understand when you become a king, you have to rule according to Arthashastra. And when you have to rule according to Arthashastra, You have to be a Raja in A to Z. And he comes, all preparations will take place. They will demolish whatever is existing, make the city proper. Let Ashoka come.
Dr. Mahadev and Dr. Anuradha, we are very thankful to both of you. You are carrying a storehouse of knowledge in your brain. But my question is, a few individuals like you are having all this knowledge. Actually, this knowledge should percolate to the student community also. And that can be possible only through the education policy of the government. So I want to know, because I have not gone through this new education policy, whether this NEP is incorporating all this ancient wisdom in the history which will be taught. Because when I studied, I know only about Mughal Empire. I can quote all the emperors in the book line by heart, but I don't know any of the prosperous kingdoms of Bharat which existed for centuries. Even one name I cannot recollect, because all the education ministers were all, sorry to say that, they were all Muslims in the Jawaharlal Nehru cabinet for so many elections, when he won the elections. He appointed all education ministers as Muslims, and the syllabus all in the schools were taught about how great the Mughal emperors were. Actually, they were tyrants, but that was not taught to the students. But the greatness of our Hindu emperors were never brought to the notice of the children. So, what step government has taken and is taking that please?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. As you all know, the National Education Policy was formulated in 2020. Okay? And what happened was, after that, the government somehow understood. First of all, the government is hugely supportive of Indian Army system. I am one of the 4 founding members of the IKS division of Government of India, which is under Ministry of Education. So I am a committee member, so I know in and out what is happening, because so from the government side, they have no qualms or no lack of clarity on what they want to do. Okay? But I want all of you to understand that it's easy for us to actually sit here and then request, which I also request. You know what has happened? Government put 27 national chairs and interest groups which must tell how to change the curriculum. I was heading the national chair for Knowledge of India. Which of this book and all that, they said, why don't you that. We have written a 70-page document. We have a lot of consultation and a good committee members, everything they've done. But I tell you 100% nobody will teach it. Because we don't know how to teach it. Government can say, I want to do it. We have nobody on the ground. I mean, our hearts are burning, melting. That's the reality. So now what is government doing? I am to another committee now, UGC has, now first of all, UGC, AICT, everybody has said compulsorily you should teach IKS. Right? Modi says keep India clean, but keeping India clean is my problem. I have to decide, no, I can't throw garbage in front of my house. No? He can say Swachh Bharat. So he has said IKS and they have genuinely meant it. They are willing to put, in fact, we are sitting on some 200, 300 crore, we want to actually give projects. Chanakya also has some projects, I know we will award all those. Actually it's not happening. And actually it's not happening not because we don't want to. That's why there is a bit of a, so we are in that stage now. We are now, UGC has now put a huge thing on how to do the capacity building. So the SWAYAM courses which we have, the textbook is first step in this. Whereas professors as teachers, first we need a proper material, everything is in Sanskrit. It's so scholarly. We are not able to get it. This book will be now translated into 15 Indian languages. We are doing it. So these kind of steps are starting now. I will be very realistic, sir. For the next 10 years, we will not cover much ground. We are onto the new road and then we are just figuring out what is this road looking like. Who is going to put the bus stop? These are genuine problems. Government wants to do it. I have been 15 days in a month. I am only going to different universities and doing these lectures. With the fond hope that, in every lecture, people are interested. It's not that they are interested, but it takes a little while. we need specific ideas of how to go. So all that will happen, sir. We have to be waited for 200 years.
Also, the state governments, they are not cooperative. Certain states,
Yes.
are going into the politics of that.
Yes.
They don't cooperate in implementing the NEP.
Very true.
In some states, they abolish
Yes.
and bring back the old system.
Yes. So I'll tell you, as long as a good number of people have gotten onto this bandwagon and they see the difference, after a while state governments will become irrelevant because they will see the pressure, or despite that they will learn. What did government do for software? They did not do hindrance. That's the first policy good state government must do or central government must do. They should not come in the way. So as long as these guys don't come in the way, it will take a delay. Tamil Nadu, for example, West Bengal and Karnataka and southern states are going to be thrown in there. But I think the parents get very agitated and a lot of private things will start. So all this we have to do in about 10 years.
ಸ್ವಯಂವ ಸರಿ, ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಅದು ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಯೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ರೀಸನ್ ಏನಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು 8000 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಫೋರ್ ಫಾದರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ ಒಂದು ಕೊಕೊನಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಮೆಂಟಾಲಿಟಿ, ಆ ಮೆಂಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಈವನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಮ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ನೋ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಸಮಿನೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ. Same time, when we are unraveling history, but one should accept what is reality. But that is not happening because they are not disseminating the same information which is real to the common man. That is also another important. But in this case, what we don't know, knowing is another important thing. What is real? So, I request you, sir, to give one suggestion in order to take forward this legacy of India, starting from civilization and even earlier, to the next generation.
No, I will tell you, sir, please understand, the biggest good thing that is happening now is what is called social media. First of all, please understand, we may have our own slants, we may have our own agenda and all that. Please understand, Satyameva Jayate Nanritam Satyasya Panta Vitate Devayana. First, these cardinal principles cannot be, you can interpret. Sir, you can't have a pack of Agni and cover it and then keep it. It will start smoking, it will finally, flames will come. The ideas in Indian knowledge are eminently appealing. You don't have to waste your time. As you said, it is not available. Our job is to make it available. This is where social media is going to play a huge role. Right? Whether government puts it into the curriculum or not, a 27-year-old, a 30-year-old youngster, a 25-year-old youngster today knows Asian invasion theory 10 times better than you and me. Why? Because he is reading now. And there is so much also, this will flood. I will tell you, Indians have a very important role. We have to flood the internet with dharmic content. Otherwise, ChatGPT and all AIs will actually take us differently. They have everything other than dharma. In fact, if you today use ChatGPT and ask about Varna system, it will tell you bad things because that's the only content available on the internet. So all of us have to actually put good quality, well-researched content onto there is a democracy of knowledge in the internet. All these are happening simultaneously. Your Atanga is well founded. Everything is a matter of time. With that optimism only we have to go forward.
And one more thing, sir. Today's history professors are there, some of them. But they are not willing to disseminate the information.
No, they will always
Not some of them, sir. All of them. All of them.
All of them.
See, sir, the problem here is, call a spade. The problem here is, see, those who have this understanding of history, those who have the understanding of inscriptions, those who have the understanding of manuscripts, they are not given an opportunity to present it in the textbooks. Are you understanding me? There are teachers who really know how to see. There is no need for me to explain what is there in the sculptures. Should I explain? Is there any need? Anybody will understand what is there. Anybody will understand what is written written in the inscription. Nobody can destroy the inscription. And now we are scared of that also. What you are telling. Therefore, we are doing 3D, three-dimensional, documentation of the inscriptions, so that our inscriptions and our history is kept intact. And we are doing the digitalization of all the palm leaf, because there is the true knowledge of India. See, when we are talking, see, there is one thing which Swami Vivekananda has told again and again and again. What is it? That please you treat your downtrodden carefully. You treat your, the people, the masses should be given proper knowledge. The masses should be given proper education. The masses should be given proper history of our India. You give them what is the real history of India. That is enough. You tell them there were rulers like Ashoka who ruled Chakravarti Kshetra, and it is not what I am telling. You tell them about Vijayanagara, okay, who wanted, Domingo Pius rights. Why Nana's rights? Why he writes? Because he came here. He wants to come here again and again. They all wanted to find out a new Syria to India. Why? Creation of wealth was happening here. That's what every nation wants to do. Therefore, you give them the real history, and it is available in abundance, sir. It is abundance everywhere. Knowledge everywhere. There is no scarcity for either knowledge or wealth in India. Never. Therefore, it is important for us to focus it and tell them the real, the real sources. Ask them to read the correct information and give them what is necessary for them to grow. We have here an important task. What is it? Nation building. Make the nation rich, make the nation wealthy, and make the nation, all the people, particularly the downtrodden, particularly the common masses, to understand what it is. If we do that, if we can only do that, our work is done. Then they know, because today they are there in Silicon Valley, today they are there everywhere. They are there everywhere, our Indians are there everywhere. We shall tell them that this is what it is. And there will be a U-turn. They will say, okay, we have everything here. We will go back to India. Now, there is no drain. They come back. I see it now.
Being a teacher from science background, it is so nice to see history from the perspective of science, actually how science it looks like. Recently, we were reading some article that was quoting our ISRO chairman, Somnathji, and he said Indian knowledge system actually travels to the world and then came back to us in the form of Western discoveries. He gives a lot of examples, like we said, sir. So, I'm telling you because my son is in 6th class and he's very good at studies. He was also going through that panel discussion. So, one of the historians, I'm not naming that person, he is one of the very eminent professor in history in one of the very prestigious university. He quoted Somnath and he said, how is it possible that if there is so much knowledge, why our ISRO is not using that kind of technology which is available there? But like you said, who is teaching all these things? Because teachers are very hard to find. So you mentioned about Swayam course. It's very good. We are going to obviously recommend our students. We are actually doing that process. So is it possible to get a group of such eminent professors so that such courses are available in large quantity? Based on science, chemistry, physics, biology. You can take it in biology, you can find out certain books related with that. Is it possible to make such big groups of academicians so that that knowledge is available to our students, then sometimes they will become teachers? Yes. So it will be very easy.
So I'll tell you, IK's division is precisely working on that. They want to put 300, 400 courses on Swayam from people. See, my daughter went to RV College of Engineering. She said, I go to, Swayam website earlier, it was called some TEL. What is that TEL? NPTEL. I was founder of NPTEL, I've forgotten. 20 years back we sat together. She says, of course, my professor teaches communication networks. I know that this professor of IIT Kanpur and IIT Madras has NPTEL courses. So I am respectful to the teacher, but I learn from there. So that kind of a thing will happen. So we have identified people, we have requested them to actually put courses which will all be flooded into the SWAYAM. Once you put it on the SWAYAM, some of the professors also he gets informed much better. Students anyway also can draw from it. That is very much there. The budgets are there. People are not coming forward. We are constantly sort of pushing them that try to create as many courses as possible. But that is the fastest way to do capacity building. You have to leverage technology and online content and so on. That's the direction in which government is very clearly requesting by case division to do, and it will happen. There is a bit of inertia. All these, inertia by its very definition is it will take time to start. That is the very definition of inertia. And mindset inertia is the toughest of all the inertias.
Yes, sir. That's my question, sir. First question is for both, sir. I have three questions, sir. And nowadays, when we are speaking about Indian history, we are telling all these things. According to methodology, people will tell that either you are following historiography or not. And when we are talking about all these things, are you going towards the romantic historiography methodology? And they are questioning about that, usually that are you following the forward enlightenment methodology or not? These questions are appearing when we are looking into the history methodology. So in which way will it encounter this, basically? And number two, question is to you, sir. So when you are speaking about that, it is around 8,000 years civilization. So I want to know that either it is by literary evidence or archaeological evidence. Because in the Gujarat IIT.
Yeah. So I will answer the second question, which is much easier. See, it is a blessing in disguise that you just take Shanti Parva of Mahabharata. There are 200 astronomical references, not one or two. Just take Shanti Parva. It will say Rohini actually on the winter solstice, Rohini is rising, or Sravishta is rising, and so on. Plenty of astronomical evidence. You will read, Sarga 18 of Balakanda. When you say Ramajanam, you will find only astronomical references there. So fortunately, we have dotted our entire literature with astronomical. See, Mythic Society in 2004, I attended, I was also invited. Mythic Society Bangalore, there was a 2-day program. The 2-day program was dating Mahabharata war. 10-12 experts came. Okay. Okay. Why it was important for this society? It was important for this society because the closure of the Mahabharata war is the closure of Dwapara Yuga. We believe in it. I don't care what others think. To me, Kali Yuga starts when Mahabharata war is over. So there was a reason for us to establish it. 10 beautiful presentations. Okay? One Narahari Achar, B. Narahari Achar from University of Tennessee. He just brought the Sky Map Pro Planetarium software. He said that there was a 14 days difference between two eclipses in Mahabharata war. All these are part of the Shanti Parva you read. So he identified 629 such eclipses which has happened within 13 days. In a matter of some 3,000 years or 4,000 years. Very systematically he brought the other data and then established. Adavata Brahmana has been established today, I think without any much difficulty, some 3,129 BC or something like that. In the days to come, you will find more and more dating. So, archaeology also they are not willing to take it fully, but the very text which puts so much of astronomical references, today we have software to verify all of them. So that is how the dating is happening. So if Max Muller was here today, I don't know what would have happened to him. You know, finished it. Because you know what he did? He did the biggest disadvantage to Indian society. He said 1200 BC is when the Vedic civilization is. He said 200 Sutra period, that period, and then he closed everything. Whereas, in Rigveda, there are 74 places where Saraswati Sutra is one of the grandest sutras in Rigveda. And now the technology is telling us Saraswati stopped flowing in 2000 BC. How can you write a sutta about an imaginary river here and represent it 17 times in Rigveda? So today there are multiple references. There is one person by name Narendran Thillaistan. People must read a lot of books. There is a person by name Narendran Thillaistan. He has written a book using gene pool. He has demolished this Dravidian Aryan nonsense. He has used gene pool studies, scientific books. There is another Ganesh Swaminathan who has written a book called From the Origin of Time. He has taken Brahmanda Purana, this Purana, that Purana, and he has done a great job. He is an IIT Delhi and IIM Ahmedabad, sitting in Singapore. What did he do? He simply writes sun. There is a chapter called sun. In the chapter on sun, he writes what are all science saying today. The red giant planet, this planet, that planet. Science is saying so many things about sun as we know today. He writes all of them in the first 10 pages. In the chapter on sun, the next 10 pages, he simply quotes from Brahmanda Purana, this Purana. He never offers anything other than explaining the stotras. They are just matching by the bit. He never says India is great, nothing is saying. He said, this is what science is saying, this is what Puranas is saying. There is a person by name Bhaskar Kamble. He has written a beautiful book called The Imperishable Seed. If you want to know the mathematics part of it, you should read it. A lot of people have started bringing it out. Going forward, the worst is over. We only have to go to better things now. That is the second part.
Yes, I want to tell you that the Department of History you introduced with after the ancient Indian heritage, which consists of the ancient science, ancient astronomy, ancient medicine, and ancient veterinary science, and ancient chemistry. And we are all,
Allah has written about veterinary science.
yes, and also the temples as a science, and the art and architecture, how it is connected with the science and technology. So we are already introduced to that.
Please introduce ancient
And as you said,
geography. Please introduce ancient geography. Plenty of materials available in Puranas.
and as you said, it is a challenging part for us to find out the primary sources. So you are telling that it is a challenging for the teachers to handle that. So we introduced to that and we are finding.
Sir, we are all teachers. Ayasa illandre payasa illa. Ayasa illandre payasa illa. Please put effort.
Yes, sir.
It is
We are working on it.
hard work. And even in hard work, it is no shortcuts. God is in details. And it needs every one of the youngsters here. I want you to say, for sake of this country, I want to spend the next 10 years. I will take one scripture, one book. I will go to Bharat. You will have left an impact.
Indian temple architecture,
Yes,
temple centric studies, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅದೇ ನಾನು ಜೀವನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು.
Yes, as you mentioned,
That I can give you information. Original. Yeah, temples, some temple centric studies, temple
Yes,
architecture. What are the papers that you have tell me? Just now we were telling, no sir.
we gave the references, syllabus of we kept that the references were given, and even from the IIT Guwahati also introduced.
Okay.
Little bit of we collected from various IITs and IIT Chennai, IIT Gandhinagar. These people are working with Narayan Archaeology and ancient
yes,
sites.
yes.
So I collected data from there.
Yes.
And some professors from central universities also.
Yes.
So we collected all that and we made, because usually for UPSC and all, these are everyone is speaking back. We study in a systematic manner, that is the question.
Even Uttarakhand, recently I was there in Gujarat. They had a 3-day seminar on Indian knowledge system. They invited me to speak. There, Uttarakhand University also has one special course on temple-centric studies.
So even PhD is also there.
Yes. For that, if you need information, I can give
So
you.
my question is, as well the archaeologists.
Historiography.
No, my question is, archaeologists usually find out it is a challenging factor to find out the snagging points in India. So university can find out anything across that just like
Yeah, we have a lot of information for everything.
archaeologically.
Archaeologically also. See sir, one thing that I need to tell you is, excavation work started in India only after British entered India. Before that, we did not have any excavation activity. Once the excavation activity was done, they have recorded everything, and it is in 3 important books. One is Archaeological Survey of India, Edition Survey. All excavations are recorded. And then we have MER report, like that, like MER reports is Mysore Archaeological Survey reports. Like that, for every region we have reports. And all those reports, the way they have reported, maybe it is wrong. But whatever they have reported, they have put original photos, they have put original matter. Therefore, if there is a mistake in the interpretation, what he told, we are in the right path. If there are certain things which we can definitely, now because the science has improved so much, and you spoke about vertical excavation, no sir, now we have 3D excavation. We can do excavation straight down, we can do horizontal excavation, we can do 3D excavation, and it is possible for us to now go study, X-ray mapping is done. Therefore, now you have a lot of resources. There is nothing to worry about the resources. And the third important thing is, what is necessary now is, it is necessary today to put all those resources, means whatever references that we are getting, into a catalog. Make a pakka catalog of all papers. Make a pakka catalog of all papers. First thing is, keep your syllabus, take chapter wise, and make a brainstorm saying whether we need these topics or not. What is needed in our syllabus, curriculum, and then you make a pakka catalog. Once the cataloging is done, we can create a text for it. It is not difficult because sources are there. Therefore, the two things that we need to do now is create a catalog and see to it that our curriculum is properly done, properly planned. Nobody else have any opportunity to dismantle it. Once you make it pakka and create a pakka curriculum, and I came to know that there are some 20 people who are working in the field of history. Sir told, I will talk to him later. Maybe if people with same kind of vision, they sit together and plan things, then it is possible to do. This will take little time, not more time. Maybe another 5-6 years, things will come to track.
Thank you so much, Madam Sir. I think there is a lot that each of us can take home, and one closing note, especially when we started discussing, exploring our own history, something which I experienced when I was writing my second novel. It was based on Vishpala, the Rigvedic queen who fought with a prosthetic leg. Right, so I was just trying to place the story in terms of history because it's not referenced anywhere. I thought like it should be really, really ancient. And so did Aryan invasion theory really happen? Maybe if scientific evidence says so, maybe I should follow. So I started reading up literature. I mean, I'm not a historian, so it took me a lot of time to read those papers. And one of the papers quoted, 2 or 3 papers they seem to be quoting this archaeologist called Mortimer Wheeler. Mortimer Wheeler. Yeah. And supposedly his thing is taken as the gold standard as a proof for. And what was his archaeological proof? It was 27 skeletons. He just stood over the 27 skeletons and said, Indra caused this, so Aryans came and invaded. So, can 27 skeletons be a proof of invasion? Can you call that an invasion? Right? So, their evidence system itself is rigged so badly that I needed some time to recover from that. Forget the novel I'm writing, but I needed okay, they are so bad. I mean, what happened to our historians? Their brains didn't work or whatever.
No, it was not like that, madam. Archaeological Survey of India, the Director Generals were always the British. There were people like Rakha Chandra, there were people like R.C. Majumdar, they were excellent people. There was no dearth for Indian historians. It was all reported, documented by them, and it is their report which is presented. Fine, it is okay. But the matter which they have presented, the photographs which they have presented, they speak a lot. There is no need for me to talk anything about landmarking. The pillars are there, the wall is there, everything is there. There is no need for us to talk. Sir. It is there, sir. Monuments are there. And monuments are there even today. They have destroyed so much. What I understood when I spoke to Harshanandji, he was writing the encyclopedia. What I understood that for Harshanandji, some very elderly monk told, I believe, his great-grandmother or grandmother was telling that when they entered the temple of Somanatha in Gujarat, Somanatha temple in Gujarat, when they entered the temple of Somanatha, when they were entering, the light was so much that there were 2 strong, magnets in 2 strong upper pole down, and in the center was the Somanatha idol. It was blue, the idol was blue and it was shining, and if somebody enters, the light used to flow from the Garbhagriha through the Rangamandir, Bhavamandir, and it used to like a flash of light. And this is what Ashananji told me. Okay, but he was writing the Encyclopedia of Hinduism. Okay, what I want to tell you is, see this knowledge that you are in between the Ayaskanta is that image. When the Arab invaders entered, they were not knowing how to understand this, the science behind this, the technology of building. Okay, and the Somanatha idol, they wanted to break the sword they used. It was a strong, carbon, our iron, our hook. When he hit it, there was a magnet. No, it was not possible to pull him out for 3-4 nights. They wanted to separate him. The idol was holding him because it was having that. I understand he is such a strong one because he was wearing all those, iron shield and everything. What is it that we try to explain here? See, it is so important. The temples were such strong centers of knowledge, centers of activity, and it was like you open the door, it opens with light. It opens with light. So it is very important for us to look at it in the perspective that we are not going to damage our history, our ancient history, which was protected, preserved for so many years. It was just destroyed from 12th century onwards until Britishers entered and left. It was that period which completely dismantled everything. Whether it is our textile industry, whether it is our pottery, whether it is our steel, whether it is our handicrafts, whether it is the gold jewelry, or whatever it is, all that which we have protected since many centuries. It was our Kulavriti. They were protecting it like that. That was completely. And what is it that they did? They destroyed the knowledge system. The knowledge of making things, creating wealth, that got destroyed. Now, who is it that we have to search for the original knowledge, bring back all that. And it is that bringing back work which we have to take up seriously.
With the Mahadevan sir presentation and with Professor Anuradhana presentation and with the interactions with the Sai Guru and with all other friends and colleagues, and especially with our Yagjilis and our astronautes. We are so grateful for this event to be all of you are here. We are also happy for everything, and I would like to Krishna Kumar to present the thanks.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Sadguru. Today, we had a very wonderful discussion with all the eminent panelists present here. I would like to first thank Sadguru Shri Madhusudan Sai for giving his blessings and under whose auspices this the wonderful seminar was organized. I would also like to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Register Admin and Director of Mudinelli Campus for providing their valuable support in organizing all this seminar and also making sure that everything went on well behind the scenes. And then I'd also like to thank our HOD, Dr. Anandan, for his help in organizing this seminar. And I'd like to thank the eminent panelists, Dr. Mahadevan, for dazzling us with his knowledge and also giving us plenty of things to think about. I'd like to thank Dr. Anuradha for enlightening us about various aspects of our own history which had been obscured by cobwebs over the period of time. And then I would like to thank Dr. Swarupa for doing an excellent job in moderation and in not only asking relevant questions but also asking about the relevance to the modern times and also pointing out the way forward. Finally, I would like to thank all the eminent personalities and brothers and sisters present here for making this conference a grand success. Thank you all, and we'll end up with a prayer. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shri Sai.